Hello YouTube, this is Randy Phillips here again. After a prolonged wait, I've had a whole lot of pushbacks and unfortunate events that have been taking place in my life. And most of it's procrastination. But I finally got around to making this video. I want to talk about the different experiences that I had on the astral realm and in my dream state. First off, back in like April, late April, early May, I had a terrible head cold that I was fighting that I finally got over sometime in June. It was a cold and rainy day and I was tired. I had sleep paralysis. I was about to exit my body, but I was sort of stuck in a vibrational phase. I had saw the spirit of my deceased father, who made his transition last year. It felt strange seeing him by my bedside. He was smiling at me. He had the smile of approval, as if when I tell him something, when he asks about something, inquire about something, and I turn out to be right, he always has that slight grin of approval and of being proud. And the reason why I knew it was my father, he appeared to be in his 30s once again, fully healthy, the bushy hair on his head and his beard, and the vibes that he gave off were the same vibes that I sensed and felt when I first recognized him and realized that he was my father when I was 18 or 19 months of age. Yeah, a few months before his transition, he asked what the other side was like. And I did a video on this earlier this year about the books that I read about people who had been regressed to their past lives by Mike Newton, Journey of Souls and Destiny of Souls. And I told him there is no mean, wrathful, judgmental God sitting on a throne, and he has nothing to worry about if he didn't commit any major offenses such as a robbery, rape, or a murder. And he was against those sort of crimes. He believed that whatever punishment the justice system dished out for people that did that, they deserved it. But I said there is judgment, but not in the way that we think it is, but in the form of a life review, where you get to see how your actions impacted a whole lot of other people and their advanced beings of light on the other side, that'll show you where you went wrong at and how to go about making amends for any mistakes that you have made, either knowingly or unknowingly. And when Astral Boo Baby did his video about dreams, I kept going to this place in a parallel timeline where I was fighting these giant scorpions and these giant centipedes and stuff. These things, parasitic things that sting, that have venom in their stinger. I would go there, but I would find myself coming back to my body because I didn't have the necessary equipment. And when I went over there again, I didn't know I could manifest by thought, and I manifested a blowtorch. They was terrorizing the people in that apartment. And the scorpion had a nerve to hiss at me and growl at me. And I told her that if it stung me, that I was going to torch the hokey pokey out of it, to put it mildly. And it was like, shh. And so I took a blowtorch and I applied fire to it. It yielded to me, it left me alone, and I was able to help the people evacuate. And I saw scorpion and cockroach hybrids. Like, the things that I saw was crazy. Also, on the flip side, when I was in sleep paralysis, I saw this adorable little baby toucan that looks something like this. I wasn't afraid of it, but he liked me. When he heard the voice of my aunt and uncle, he hid under my bed. And when they went in their room, I told the poor little guy, it's okay, he could come out. He could come out. I was kind and gentle and tender with it. It liked me a lot. And in another experience, I was babysitting this infant. It was sort of goofy, really. It's like the infant knew who I was, but I didn't quite knew who it was quite yet. Like, it would play practical jokes on me. Like when I rub its back, the belch him and everything, he would spit up on me. And I was like, ew. Yeah, I saw him as a little brother that I had to look after since nobody claimed it. Then he kept messing his diaper on purpose and stuff. Grossing me out, having to change him and stuff. And I just peered directly into his eyes and he started giggling and laughing. And I told him, I know who you are. And I said, you can't put up this facade for much longer. That infant was an aspect of myself. The spiritual side of myself that was suppressed. Things that I once believed in back during that time, but told it wasn't real, but come to find out it was real. And then the infant morphed and changed form and became the age that I am now in Earth years. Like my heart chakra just opened wide open. Like we had a long talk about how the society is deliberately dumbing people down. Because about 10 years ago, back in 2008, someone told me that fairies, pixies, gnomes, and leprechauns were real. They just exist on a different dimension, a parallel dimension. I would look at them like they was crazy. I would think they went off the deep end. Until I saw YouTube videos where people have actually caught them. And people that had security cameras, you could see fairies flying around and about. And this was back in 2013. I'm like, wow. Like the fantasy and make-believe stuff that we have been taught is actually real. And the stuff that we have been told that is real is like an illusion. Like I was floored, lost for words. Yeah, every time I went back to that building where it had an infestation of those parasitic creatures and stuff, it would improve, it would get a lot better. And I pinky swore to this kid that if I was able to get rid of all of those nasties and stuff, that they could move back in. You know how kids are when adults make them promises. 80 to 90% of the time they don't follow through on them. But I told them I know what it feels like to have a whole lot of promises broken to you, because I had plenty of promises broken to me. But I did my best. Me and a whole group of other people. We then sanitized the place and everything, and wiped everything down and put everything back the way it was. And they was temporarily located to a new apartment. But the kid fell in love and had an attachment to his room in that apartment. After everything was all cleaned up and everything, they were allowed to move back, and I bought him a few extra gifts. He couldn't stop saying, "Thank you, Mr. Phillips, thank you," and hugging me and stuff. I just said, "It's okay, you could call me Randy." And then that experience stopped. Y'all wonder why out there I know how to drive and I know how to swim. But in this reality, when I was physically fit and able-bodied, I never learned how to drive in this life, nor do I know how to swim in this life or have learned. But I was interested in learning. I'm sitting here thinking, are there any other experiences I want to talk about? Oh yeah, my most recent experience. I saw a whole lot of spiders in my room. Astral spiders and stuff, and those 1,000 leaguers that look like this. And are sometimes called house centipedes. But yeah, some of the spiders gave off negative vibes, and some gave off positive vibes. It's like all those bugs that I fought off, and those hybrids that I fought off. In one reality, they done followed me here. And I kept saying to myself, it's not real, y'all, not real. Not real in a sense of this 3D reality. 'Cause if my family member, my aunt or uncle had saw all that, what I saw, they would literally freak out. They would have a fit, they would go through the roof. And when I walked past me, went down my wall and stuff, they were sort of like these cube pixels. This bright, translucent, blue pixel-like shapes. I'm like, wow. Like, what is going on? And I look forward to these adventures. Yeah, mostly like to have the positive experiences, but the negative experiences serve a purpose as well. Perhaps it was some sort of training for me for something bigger and greater. If it was a test, I hope that I passed. Other than that, my Dreamtime experiences are based on things that I reminisce on in childhood memories and stuff. And some of my dreams also were precognitive. I live on the East Coast in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I kept dreaming of all this rain, these storms and flash floods. Even though the location where I'm at can't flood unless the storm drains are clogged and it rains real hard at the rate of 2 or 3 inches an hour, non-stop for 2 or 3 days. But the dream would be first person, and I would try to warn people that a storm is coming. They would laugh at me. And I would have this like little paddle boat, this rowboat. These people had tried to jump in it and swamped me after the storm came. And I remember dying in that dream. 'Cause I saw my body go under in that murky water. And I'm observing as a spirit, and I'm like, oh you mother. I said a whole lot of swear words. And then I went through this tunnel. And I met up with all the other victims that had transitioned. There was this person that was wearing this anonymous type mask, and This Grim Reaper type mask. For some reason, the people want to scapegoat me. They didn't know that they were dead. They say, no, take him, take him. I'm not ready to go yet. I'm not ready to go yet. And I told this being that I'm already know that I'm dead. I wasn't ready to die. And I said I refuse to go back unless it's into a body where I'm credited, where I can finish out the last of my years. Say, for example, I died at the age of 30 when I was supposed to make it to 70. I want a body that's going to expire at or around the age of 40 years. And he put his own pointer fingers to his lips, as in to say, shh. They somehow manipulated time and sent me back 2 weeks beforehand and told me to just save myself. That those people have a whole lot to learn. They say the storm's still gonna come and everything, but do my best to stay safe. And don't bother to try to warn most people who are not spiritually aware or spiritually in tune, because they won't believe me, they won't understand. And I remember falling through this tunnel. It was like a wind tunnel. It was pitch black and made this sound like ksh. And I said, oh my God, please don't let this be a trick. Please don't let this be a trick. I was fully conscious and fully aware. And I landed back in my body that was kept warm in the sun by a nice female guide. She had blankets around my body and stuff. It was a warm, sunny day. And she directed me how to re-enter my body. And told me to eat some soups and stuff and to drink some tea for the first few days. Start off light far as food and drink plenty of water. Then slowly and gradually resume my normal diet. And I had to act all normal through all of this in my dream state while being fully conscious and aware as to what had happened. And as I got closer to where I live now, I felt that strong pull again, and I woke up in my body. I'm like, wow, this is simply amazing. Incredible. But that's all for now. And I hope to make YouTube videos a little more often. Now that I'm done with my summer visits for outpatient physical and occupational therapy, I have nothing but time on my hands. And if my prescription medication doesn't make me too sleepy, as I have more interest in dream time experiences and out-of-body experiences, I will be more than happy to share them with you. And one last thing before I close this video out. With all this fear-mongering that's going on about the rapture is coming and this, that, and the third, those who are awake and aware, why can't we meditate in our own way? So by the year of 2020, this is my theory on it. How the doctors say we have 20/20 vision. I hope by that year 2020, in the middle of it or towards the end, that we will have a greater understanding of things. Our spiritual sight will become clearer. And then in next year, 2021, when you abbreviate the last two numbers, the number 21 has very powerful occult significance. Because 2 plus 1 is 3. The Holy Trinity, mind, body, and spirit. And 7 and 11 has very powerful energies and occultic meanings. Why can't we project for that date on July the 11th, 2021, to begin our divine remembrance of who and what we really are before things really rev up? We gotta try to get the upper hand on this. And those that don't want to listen, who are not interested, just let them go about their way until they do wake up and are interested in it. That's all that I could think of for now. And I'll try to make more YouTube videos a little more often now that I'm free. I love you all. Be blessed.